So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ambika. I represent the Economic Development or Trade and Investment Office of German state of North Rhine-Westphalia, NRW in India. And when we speak about this region with Düsseldorf as its capital, Cologne, Münster, Ruhr and Rhine region, Bonn, Aachen, and many more cities are famous for their global outreach and excellent economic location for the business expansion. And since we know that India and Germany with the latest innovation have been setting the benchmarks for the world, in the current scenario where virtual is new norm, the economic market is more and more dependent on the emerging technologies and the innovative solutions for the businesses, for the research and all kinds of sectors. And there the startups play a very important role, being a driving force for the growth of economies in any country. And we have seen a trend where more and more Indian startups are looking toward the European market for the technology enhancement and to establish a global outreach for better perspective. And hence, our state, North Rhine-Westphalia in Germany, can offer them ample opportunities in four main areas, which is global connect, potential customers, innovative platform clusters and network, and connect to research and academia for the technology enhancement. And that's because there are around 20,000 global companies established their operation in NRW. And the same region is also having 7 lakh SMEs and many global players from various sectors such as manufacturing, healthcare, industry 4.0, IoT, ICT, IT, retail and logistics and so on are already existing there. And when we come to a research, university and academic cooperation, there are already 60 plus universities are existing there with Fraunhofer and Max Planck Institutes active in all major areas of digital transformation and offer an excellent environment for the startups. And the presence of 6 regional digital hubs in Aachen, Bonn, Düsseldorf, Cologne, Münsterland, and the Ruhr region helps startups to connect with small and medium-sized enterprises, large industrial companies, and also provides marvelous opportunities for the startups to grow and scale up easily. And these are, there are many federal and state level funding programs from state of North Rhine-Westphalia, such as Excellence NRW, Startups.NRW, Digital Hubs, and the corporate innovation through many companies such as Evonik, E.ON, which support the startup ecosystem and improve networking between startup, SMEs, and investors and technology institutes. So we at NRW help mature startups and offer pro bono services for consulting and planning to select a location, legal and tax matter, connect them to the cluster and academia, and also offer a welcome package subsidy for 3,000 euros for setting up a GmbH or private limited in NRW. So having said that, from the idea to the successful business, a startup of course needs an ecosystem with the combination of various stakeholders like investor, mentor, accelerator, right market, and customers. So we also work very closely with cluster networks, local chamber, and the startup exchange program funded by the German government to provide them a wider scope for networking. And one of the such important partner today is GINSEP, German Indian Startup Exchange Program. So we also have with us Ms. Amrita from representing the GINSEP program, and she'll also support us and explain you about the wide opportunities presented from the GINSEP program. So together with my colleague Amrita, I'd be glad to share a PPT or the PowerPoint with you to know more about the region and the opportunities available in Germany for startups. Thank you. Yeah, so as I mentioned that we'll share the PowerPoint from the NRP region where you'll get the information or a brief information about the region and the opportunities available. And for any further question, we'll be happy to help you from my side and Amrita's side. So let's start with the PPT here. So as I mentioned, the North Rhine-Westphalia is the Europe's heartbeat, where we have dynamic business location for the center of Europe. Then we have the world-class research and development activities. It's an industrial region, therefore there are lots of businesses or global businesses already present there. One more important point is that we already having 120 Indian companies from India and more than 4,000 students are studying in NRW from India. So when we speak about NRW region, so you know that Germany has got 16 states and North Rhine-Westphalia. When we speak about the GDP target, NRW contributes for 20% of GDP of Germany. And of course, there are other regions also, and every region has their own charm, but NRW and Bavaria, they compete with each other and with the highest GDP around 20%. Then we speak about the location wise. So when you are starting your business in NRW, you can see very clearly that there are already the important business location sharing their borders with Düsseldorf or with NRW. I would say like Netherlands is there, Paris is there, London is there, all the other regions from Germany also are present there. And if to reach NRW, it's also not very difficult nowadays. We already have all the major destinations in 4 hours of the reach, and from Delhi, Bangalore, or Mumbai, or any metropolitan city, it takes hardly 9 hours. So there are some figures or basic data from 2020. So as I was mentioning, dynamic economic location, well connected via road, rail, and airport network. One more important thing is the SME is the driving force of any economy, and it's a major backbone of any economy. There are almost 7 lakh SMEs present in this region. Connectivity transport. When we speak about port connectivity, Duisburg and Dortmund, they are the biggest port connectivity. International airports are there. 2 major international airports are there, Cologne, Bonn. They're also having the air cargo center. And rail connectivity, you can reach out to Frankfurt in, I think, just 1 hour. Then these are the important sectors which are present there: mechanical, engineering, chemical, food, beverage, metal production, electrical. All these are the important sectors in the manufacturing sector which are present in North Rhine-Westphalia. Then we always mention that NRW is an industrial region. So when we say industrial region, there are lots of industrial sector which I have already mentioned are present there. Industrial enterprises generated almost 320 billion euros in 2020. The biggest industrial employment generate lots of employment there. With Ruhr Metropolis, it's the core hub for the industrial region for NRW. Then these are the strengths, as I mentioned, that 7 lakh SMEs are already present there, who are eager to work with the startups who can provide solutions for their problem statements. And more SMEs from NRW are looking further to collaborate or to work together with the Indian startups. Then these are the major sectors where we have seen recently a growth from the Indian side or the Indian company side to work and explore the markets or the global outreach in our region, which are Industry 4.0, ICT, automotive, logistics, healthcare, pharma, biotech, chemicals, energy, and future technology. Then these are the emerging opportunity in which electric vehicles, renewable, hydrogen fuel cells, these are the important areas where NRW is really coming up. When we say electric vehicles, we're already having the competence center. E.ON is already there, which is working together very closely with the startups. Then renewable energy, also we have lots of R&D institutes which are working together. Fraunhofer is also one of them with the Max Planck. Then hydrogen fuels, which is very, very recent and very important, I would say, important sector. The NRW is really a leader. Recently, Plug Power, the US company, has already settled an innovation center hub in Duisburg for that. Then coming to the global player, as I initially mentioned, there are already 20 out of 20,000 global companies are there, and 19 out of top 50 companies in Germany are based in NRW. You can see we have all the sectors covered. We have logistics, where we have DHL, we have aviation, Lufthansa is there, then we have EV, E.ON is there. So lots of, or the ICT is there, ThyssenKrupp is there, Uniper is there. So these are the all important company. Bayer is there, which is of course already settled its office or started its operation already in India from long time. Then speaking about the Indian companies, we already as mentioned that 120 Indian companies are already present in NRW. And these are the few of the important names which I wanted to mention and share with the startups. So when we say Tech Mahindra is present there, Wipro is there, Infosys is already having a digital hub in Düsseldorf, and which is a big achievement. Coming towards the chemical sector or the pharma sector, Sun Pharma is already present there. Semiconductor Science is already there. So likewise, there are lots of companies which are Indian companies which are already settled there, and many more are also coming. And these are the few another global players in which we have major of the ICT. For example, T Materna is one of the company which has already worked with the BIAL airport at Bangalore to provide some solution, intelligent solution for the entire airport. Then we have Fujitsu there, 3M, Toyota. These are the well-known names which are present there and having their operation from NRW. Then this is also a very important part when we speak about startup collaboration with the cluster as well as research institutes. We have various clusters for the various verticals or the sectors. These are the clusters which have to play an important role to connect SMEs, academia, and the startups. So these are the clusters which have specialized sectors. For example, logistics, they have a special sector. Biotech, they have a special sector. Healthcare, they have a special sector. So these are also the important aspect or important institute or organization from NRW, which brings startup and SMEs very closer to each other to have a solution for the problem statements. Then again, important fairs are there. In fact, I would like to quote that, November only there was a Medica fair. Despite pandemic, we had a footfall of 120,000 people, 5,000 exhibitors were there, and 70 countries participated in this Medica fair. So likewise, there are other fairs also for the various domain, like Eurosys is also one of them. ENGACOM is there. So this is also a destination for important events and fairs. Then these are the digital hubs, which are most important aspect or most important organization of North Rhine-Westphalia. These are the platforms which are supported by not only by the state government, but also by the federal government. And these provide an excellent platform or excellent connect between the research institutes, SMEs, and startups. I think, Amrita, you will be, I think, sharing few details for these digital hubs also later. So these are the research network. When we speak about the research and technology, all the important research institutes are present in this region. We have RWTH Aachen. Aachen is very much famous in Indian students. More and more Indian students are going for not only for the master's, but also for graduation courses. Then Julius Institute is there. German Aerospace Center is present there. 14 Fraunhofer and 12 Max Planck Institutes are also present. So this shows the research strength in the region North Rhine-Westphalia. Then again, the university scenario, that how many universities we are having. There are almost 50 non-university and 60 technology centers which are present there. And few of the famous names we have mentioned there. So we have enormous talent pool present in North Rhine-Westphalia. You can see there are immense sectors or immense education subjects which are present there. So if you are establishing any organization, any business there is ample, ample strength from the students which can also join your institute. So as I mentioned earlier, for the welcome package is already present for the startups. Then to get a talent pool is available. Immense talent pool is there. Then the research cooperation already there with various sectors from IoT, robotics, industry 4.0, you name it, we have it. So all the research cooperation is there. Fraunhofer Institute is already present there. And mentioning about few of the well-known names from the startup industry, Trivago is there. Then Cumulocity is there. BitStar, which is the product of Aachen University, is already present there. And these are certain programs which are present there, like ScaleUp.NRW, Digital Workshop, Startup Center. And these are there to support the startup once they establish their setups there in Germany or in North Rhine-Westphalia. Then these are few startups who are already working on the accelerator program, which are present in Düsseldorf or Essen. And these provide excellent excellent support starting from the beginning to for the business plan to connect to the various industry. These are the important accelerator programs. Then these are the incubator programs, StartPlus, CyberNets Lab, Wuppertal Institute. All these Fraunhofer Institute of Material Flow and Logistics, these adopt for the promotion and support for the startups. So coming back to certain other things, like when we speak about culture, we are also a culture-rich state where we have Cologne Cathedral, historical monuments, and all the other things, and you will not feel homesick when you are in NRW. To do the hand-holding with the pro bono art services, where we support them by consulting, connecting to the city council, connecting them to the legal and tax matter expert, identifying the location, and of course, finally connecting to the cluster and networks. Yeah, so we also have now with me Ms. Amrita. As I mentioned, that it's very important for us to work together with the Chamber of Commerce, together with the cluster networks, and a very important GINSEP program. And GINSEP program is there already to support the startups, and it's an Indo-German Startup Exchange program. And I think I'll hand over to you, Amrita, to give a brief about your program. How can they help the startups? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ambika. It's very nice to be here and share the podium with you and talk specifically for startups and also opportunities for startups in the North Rhine-Westphalia region. First of all, North Rhine-Westphalia, also I have a personal connect with it because I studied in Cologne. So I think that's a good place to begin with. And I also enjoyed listening to your presentation where you mentioned about some key sectors and some specific areas of future scope, not only for startups, but for Indian companies in general. But before I delve into that, let me first give a very short brief about GINSEP and then come into the and take it accordingly from there. So GINSEP is the German-Indian Startup Exchange Program. We have been in existence since 2017. I support GINSEP for all its activities from the Indian side in terms of strategy, network, and connections. And the project lead of GINSEP is Mr. Julian Six. He's based out of Berlin, and we are a bilateral project driven by the Ministry of Economics and Climate Change, Climate Now, and it is executed by the German Startups Association, also based here in Germany and in Berlin. So with that being said, we work actively in terms of building networks from both the German and Indian side, and specifically promote bilateral exchange of startups, supporting Indian startups to set up in Germany, and also supporting the German startups to have a good market access and set up in India as well. So we act as an exchange platform. And we have been working with several Indian counterparts and the German counterparts, but specifically speaking from the NRW region, we have quite a few ambassadors and network partners who are based out of this region as well. And specifically talking about the engagements, we worked over the Digital Demo Day twice. This was first in 2020 January and then 2021 September, which helped us to work with startups and exchange networks from both the German and Indian side. So that was a good headway into that. And apart from that, we also work closely with the local governments, both from the Düsseldorf side and also from the Cologne side. And we are more than happy to expand our networks into the other cities of NRW, especially with support like support of partners like you. And of course, you're also one of the GINSEP ambassadors. So how we create value for startups, especially in these two ecosystems, is by having the ambassador network. So we have over 130 ambassadors right now in various sectors and fields who help the startups to take their journey to the next level in either of the markets. So this could be startup founders, this could be accelerator heads or subject matter experts in that particular field. And now talking about sectors, especially since we're talking about North Rhine-Westphalia and the Ruhr Gebiet or the Ruhr area, one of the key sectors that draws parallels to what you said is also in the sectors of manufacturing and Industry 4.0. And one other point that you mentioned to draw a parallel between the SMEs and startups is also very crucial here, because even though startups are the most important point of discussion today, especially in this context from my side, we see that there's a lot of potential for connecting Indian startups with the Mittelstand companies of North Rhine-Westphalia, and how to do the specific B2B connections in the fields of manufacturing, IoT, and AI. And we have already seen some interest coming up from the Indian side as well. But I think with partners like you, we can take the ball rolling and bring out actual case studies and success stories. And now quickly speaking about the digital hubs as well. So digital hubs are also a great initiative from the German side, where they work sector specifically across different clusters within Germany. And there is one such in the NRW region also. There's Mr. Peter Hornig, who leads this initiative from the Düsseldorf area. And some of the key sectors which I could specify here are digital and digital services, especially hydrogen-based services for startups. And health tech is also a very important sector where there could be collaborations that can come out of German and Indian startups. But at the same time, we need to look at it case on case basis as to what is the kind of interest and what is the level of startup who wants to collaborate or gain market access within the German side. And one other important aspect with the digital hubs is also they have a specific intensive accelerator program, which is also open. And I think the applications of it are also currently going on. They also provide a lot of grants for startups. There is one grant of 25,000 euro, which is also there. But then you can check out the website for more details and understand how it is applicable for each German startup and Indian startup to see the relevance of that particular sector. So overall, these are the few points that I wanted to share in a nutshell. You can always reach out to me for more hands-on, in-depth points of view, and if there are any questions also, I'm available. But at this point of time, I think this is a brief information in a nutshell.
Thank you so much, Amrita. And I think together what we can suggest the startups are like, of course, first they have to see what sectors they are targeting, and with your help or with the GINSEP support and from the NRB Global Business, what we can together do is that once they have their target sectors or specific plans to start some company or some organization in NRW, especially region, we can help them further to identify the location, to connect them further to respective stakeholders, and to widen their scope for the businesses actually. So I will be happy to answer all your questions. You can send that in chat box. So myself and Amrita are there to help you. And our email ID also will be shared with you. So if you want to reach out to us, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to help you as far as possible. And so that is all from our side. And thank you so much, Amrita, for joining us. And myself, Ambika from NRB Global Business, happy to help. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the invitation.